There are so many palettes that are launching this month, next month. Probably we'll see a ton in November and December too. I really went back and forth as to whether or not I even wanted to pick this up. Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Lauren. I am a makeup lover. Is that how all tiny beauty channels open? I think it is. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I really appreciate you. If you haven't had a chance, please hit that subscribe button. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I think that's doable, but I need your help. If you're joining today because you are also a makeup lover, you've probably already seen a million reviews for this palette. I'm a little late on this one. It's pretty much per usual. I really didn't know if I wanted to buy it. I love fall. I love fall themed palettes. But this one, I just didn't know if I needed. I, didn't pick up their last release. And then I went wine tasting with a friend, ended up in a Sephora, and somehow ended up with this guy. So what are we talking about? This is the ABH Fall Romance palette. It is beautiful. It really is. And that's what changed my mind, really, not the wine. But the inside, when I saw it in person, it really did scream fall to me. And I'm a sucker for fall things, if you couldn't tell. I have my Starbucks cup back there, and you bet there was a PSL in there earlier. So that's just who I am. I love fall, and I really love rich, vibrant colors. And when I saw this in person, I thought there was a lot of richness and depth to these colors, and I wanted it. So I got it, and I figured, hey, even I myself have watched a handful of reviews on this palette, I'm gonna do a review too, because I want to. And that was it. I just wanted to. So what we're gonna do with this palette is we're gonna swatch it, and then I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a different look on each eye. That's normally what I do. I like to do a couple different looks just to get an idea of how all the colors perform. And we're gonna see if this stacks up to ABH's previous releases or if it's something that maybe you should pass on. But let's get into the swatches, then we'll get into the look, and then we'll end with my final thoughts on this palette. Okay, let's get into these swatches. We have Smoke, Moonlight, Fireside, Divine, go back into Moonlight. That one's pretty sheer. Crown, it's another pretty sheer one. Ember, Leather, Thorns, Midnight, Mulberry, and Twilight, which is kind of a smoky black. Here's the palette swatched. Definitely very fallish, if I do say so. But let's see how it performs on the eyes. So I have gone ahead and prepped my eye with the ABH eye primer because we're using an ABH palette, so that felt like that worked. And let's just get into it. I think what I want to do is I want to do one more kind of neutral eye and then one green leaning, green and gold. There's a lot of gold. There's actually quite a bit of gold in this palette, which I really like. But let's go ahead and let's just go into, this is a deep palette, isn't it? That's pretty deep. There's not a whole lot of light shades in here. It was like, what's a good light transition color for my skin tone? Leather? Maybe. Let's go into leather. Let's start with that. It is definitely a darker palette, which hopefully means it's good for people with deeper skin tone. But let's see how it works on my pale skin. Is it going to be too deep? I don't know. So far, no. So far, this is working out fine. This color was a good choice, though. So I am just gonna put this all over my upper eyelid. thought the swatches were pretty good, but I always say you can't really trust swatches 100% because they could perform differently on your eye, right? Your eyelid and the skin on your arm is different. I take much better care of my face than I do my arm, to be completely honest. So I'm also gonna go up a little higher than I normally do because sometimes I think it's hard to see my looks get hidden in the hood of my eye. Okay, we have that color down. Let's figure out what we want to do next. I think this is going to be the more neutral eye. Let's go into Mulberry. I'm going to put this color in kind of my inner corner and maybe up a bit. Oh, wow. That one is a very pigmented, rich color. I will say I'm impressed with the pigmentation in that color. It's quite a bit of it. One thing that's awesome about the ABH formula is that it blends out really, really well. So it's easy to kind of place a color and then buff it out. It's probably why a lot of people like the formula. Okay, next what I want to do is I'm going to go into Midnight right here, and I think I want to put that kind of in the outer edge of my eye. It's a shimmer, it's a little bit darker. I'm curious to see how it'll perform. Also, I know I said this was going to be my more neutral colored eye, but I think between the purple and the kind of Mulberry is more of like a reddish color, and it's not quite as neutral as I initially planned. Ooh, okay. So we are getting quite a bit of fallout with this one. Wow. Oh, okay. So that is a very pigmented color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into Leather, and I'm just kind of going to go over the edges again, just to blend it out a little bit. Wow. Okay. Midnight is a very, very pretty color, but we are dealing with quite a bit of fallout now, so just be careful of that. That's really pretty. I didn't have the highest expectations for this palette. I don't know why. I saw a few reviews and people liked it, but they didn't love it. And some of them said the formula felt different. But so far, granted, I've only used a couple colors, but so far it doesn't to me. You know what? I think I need to, I'm going to use this Divine color. This one right here. This one, when I swatched it, did feel weird. It felt kind of stiff and it didn't swatch the best. So let me put that one just like right in the middle. Let's see how it looks. It definitely doesn't like to layer on other colors very well. But it really fit into that spot that didn't have anything quite well. And it's pretty. I really like that. I'm a big fan of purples. So when I find a good purple, I can actually see myself using that one a lot. Oh, okay, this makes me really happy because I reviewed another palette this week, which you're going to see tomorrow. And you're going to see my thoughts. So I'm not going to say anything, but it wasn't what I thought it was, you know? And this one I was like, okay, just go into it with low expectations. You don't want to be disappointed. It's a $55 palette. You don't want to go in and be bummed out. Okay, I'm going to go back into Leather and I'm going to put it underneath my waterline. And again, like I watched reviews of this palette and they were just kind of mixed. They were definitely mixed. Some loved it, some were kind of more neutral on it. Okay, I am gonna go into Midnight. Wow. Okay, that is a color you're gonna wanna be careful with because it is pigmented. Whoo! Okay, well, I think this is kind of all I wanted to do for this look. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go into smoke right here, and I'm going to just put some of that in the inner corner of my eye to give it a little bit of sparkle. Oh, okay. And I need to wash off my hands because they're covered in that color Midnight, and I need to clean up the fallout real fast. I will be back and then we'll do the other eye. Okay, primer has been applied. I think for this one, I'm gonna do a little bit of a simpler look. I really like doing kind of halo looks because I normally use 2 to 3 eyeshadows at the most, and I can do them really fast. So it's something that I would use a lot in my day-to-day life. So let's go into Thorns here, and we're just gonna do a really simple halo look. And it's gonna be green, and it's gonna be amazing. I hope. I don't wanna jinx myself. Okay, I knocked all the color off. Okay. So these are definitely pigmented, darker colors, which I think is awesome. Love pigment, and I just feel like it's gonna fit a lot of different skin tones better than if it was just very light, you know? A little patchy. It's not quite as green as I was hoping it would be. It's definitely a very deep olivey, foresty combo of those two green. And it's just requiring a little bit of work. Okay, I think that's good. I think we have it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go into this color Crown, which was actually pretty sheer. Let's go into Crown. Let's just see. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna use my finger again. Yeah, Crown is very sheer, but I'm just gonna stick it in the middle because it's kind of a yellowish, I'd say, shimmer. Ooh, contacts did not like that. So it works well with the green. Oh, it does build up quite nicely. Oh yeah, that really built up pretty nicely. Okay, cool. And then I think last, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go into this corner color, Ember. I'm gonna put that underneath my waterline, and then we're gonna call it a day for the looks. Ooh, this is very pigmented as well. And just to finish it off, I'm gonna go into Fireside. I'm gonna stick some of that in the corner of my eye. And maybe bring it under my waterline just a titch. Okay, all the way across my waterline. I'm gonna put on some eyeliner, some mascara, finish this look up, and then let's talk about it. Let's talk about this palette, because I have things to say. Oh, I'm shocked. I guess that's my first impression. Again, I just kind of went in with low expectations because I just have seen mixed reviews. I didn't really know what was gonna happen when I used it. And do you like ABH's eyeshadow formula? Yeah, okay. I do typically really like ABH's eyeshadow formula, but the last palette just did not get my attention and was confusing color story wise, and I feel like they really redeemed themselves with this palette. I think it performed so well. Now, the biggest con I would say is the fallout. There is a lot of fallout, so you need to not do your base before you do your eyes. Do your eyes first, do your base after. You will thank me later. I'm now officially covered in cat fur. It happens. It does. But overall, I thought these colors performed so well. Even the topper color that we used, Crown, was really good. I was not expecting to like it. I typically don't like toppers, but I really liked that one. You could actually build it up. It was a topper you could build up.
don't know if I've ever used those words in a sentence before. So pleasantly surprised with that. I thought all the ones that I used were really good. I think the only exception, the one that I didn't love, was Thorns. I think I just have better greens that look maybe a little bit more green. This one just turned out a little bit darker than what I wanted. It's pretty, but it also did take a little bit of work to really fluff out. So not my favorite. Everything else performed like a dream. Midnight, this color is special. It is pigmented, it is vibrant, it is deep and dark and sexy, and I went a little crazy with it. So I think it's really good for a smoky eye. I think it's perfect for a smoky eye, and I think it's gonna be a really good color for many, many Halloween costumes. It's just striking. It's so cool. It's just, some colors are fun to apply because when you see them perform and you see them play out on your eyelid, you're like, oh, I really like that. That's really cool. So I thought that was special. Everything else that I used was really good. I think Divine, that purple one, it was a little nervous because the texture was weird and it didn't build up super well on top of other shadows, but I don't think you need to put it on other shadows. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's a beautiful purple. Everything else just performed really well. So yeah, the biggest con is definitely the fallout, quite a bit of fallout. Other than that, the colors performed well, and I would say this is an excellent fall palette. I was really impressed. So the Fall Romance palette, I have to say, I am pretty excited now to have this in my collection because I wasn't even gonna get it. I was like, I don't know if I need it. And do you ever need anything makeup-wise? Probably not. I'm never gonna say you need this palette, but I will say that this is a good palette. If you're looking for something with a darker color scheme, this is it. It's pretty dark. I mean, leather worked really well as a transition color for me and just like a lighter color overall. Some of the shimmers are a little bit lighter, but you've got a lot of depth. You've got a lot of depth with this palette. And you have a lot of pigmentation, which I really like in my palettes. I like pigmented palettes. So overall, pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I'm a fan. I like it. That's gonna be it for this review. I would love to hear your opinion. Did you pick this palette up? Are you planning on picking this palette up? Do you disagree with me? Do you think this is hideous? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!